And we'll do like a shorter session this time. Just give me 1 minute to get it all set up. Okay. This is going to be in exercise and somatic inquiry. Yeah, so it's 1,000,000 degrees here. And for some reason, here we go. All right, let's start. We are going to just come in for a landing in your body, standing. And as you're in your body, which we all are in our bodies all the time for the rest of our life, even if we're having a dream or an out of body experience, we're still in this body. So coming in for a landing in your body, letting go of whatever's happened before, letting go of whatever's going to happen later, and coming into this moment in your body, feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your feet on the ground, feeling the sky above you, right? The heavens above you, the ground below you. Let's just take a couple of deep breaths in, inhale and open, radiating away from center. And then on the exhale, letting everything come down to earth. Inhaling, open, stretching out and up. And exhale, feeling the space around you. Imagine that you are, this is an interesting idea, continuous with the space around you, meaning there is no separation between you and the space around you. And that is true. And imagining that your energy field is radiating way out beyond your body, and you're receiving energy through that energy field, and you're also emitting energy through that energy field. And let's just take a quick spiral. Easy and loose, as gentle as you need to be. So it's like 1,000,000 degrees here, and it's in a flow of days of 1,000,000 degrees. So it's going to be a little more gentle today. Then let's come in and let's just work with internal rotation and external rotation. So you're going to internally rotate and then externally rotate, spiraling in and spiraling out, rotating in and rotating out. So on a tissue level, with that internal and external rotation, without doing it super hard, we're kind of wringing the tissue, right? Internal rotation, spiraling out, external rotation, internal rotation, spiraling out, external rotation. When we wring something a little bit, we give it a chance for the fluids in there to readjust where they are. Let's take it up a little higher. Internal rotation, external rotation, maybe a cat-cow, internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation. We're going to circle the shoulders, but we're going to circle one at a time. So it's like circling back, a little bounce. This is going to be a kind of continual offering of movement. If you want to do something different, then go for it. But circling your shoulders, feeling the roundness of the circle that you're making with your shoulder, letting your chest and lungs mobilize, chest, lungs, and heart moving around. And then let's come over the top. So over the top, like you're saying, come on, one shoulder, come on, adding the elbow into it, feeling like you have some big monkey arms making these circles around your body, and a little weight shift maybe. Good. And then shake that out. And we're going to, so I really want to think of everything that we do today, just absorbing what needs to be absorbed in your body and releasing what needs to be released in your body. So we're not stressing the tissue, we're not stressing ourselves out, but we're softening and melting. Let's do a lymph flush, really gentle one. Rubbing your hands together, taking your right hand to your left collarbone, very gentle, very soft. I'm kind of getting the tissue with the flat of my hand, and it sort of just sticks on there, and I'm circling around. So I'm not necessarily going for my deepest, poke my fingers into my body. I want the integrity of the tissue to be strong. And what is that? Those are the layers of fascia. And within those layers of fascia are your nerves. We're working on the areas, the whole lymphatic system is interwoven into that. coming up to the angle of the jaw. When we sleep, the glial lymph, the lymphatic in our brain clears out and detoxes our head. So when we are awake in the morning, clearing that out, making sure that pathway coming down into that subclavian vein, which is returning then to the blood flow and filtering out of our body, we want to make sure that that is clear and open. So we're clearing this whole pathway into our heart. So the lymph filters back in. Same thing on the other side, starting with your upper left hand on your upper right clavicle. And I'm all kind of sticky and sweaty already. So like, I don't need to do a whole lot of this to really move the tissue, but it's also good to sweat. Sweat is a detoxer, detoxifier. Coming up, angle of the jaw. Maybe some opening of your face, squish and open. Make some noises. Coming into the sort of animal nature of your body, letting go of the human inhibitions, the political, social, cultural inhibitions on how you're supposed to behave, and let your animal body be more animal, more fluid, more flowy, less restricted. And then we're going to come into our face right there, but next to your nose, squishing up and opening up. So there's like a, I don't know, I've heard it lemon pumpkin, where the lemon's like, oh, and then the pumpkin's like big. So squish and open. So on a tissue level, we're gently massaging the fluid in our body. And I said this a bunch of times, but I'm just going to keep saying it, the British Fascia Symposium over the weekend, last weekend. Not this past weekend, the weekend before. And I'm still taking in a lot of that information. But fascia is something I've been studying since the 90s, when I studied Bindegewebs massage, which is connective tissue therapy. And we really were looking at the fascia and the autonomic nervous system. So that has been on my radar since the 90s. And so one thing that's, let's just do the K27 point, find the edge of your collarbone, take it down, little circles. Should be a little indentation there that feels natural for your fingers to go in. Gentle circles in there, K27 point. So one of the things that I learned at this fascia symposium is that the interstitium, all the fluid in your body, is kind of like carrying the currents of your body, the electrical charge, the chi, the prana, the energy. So we want to think of that fluid. It's continuous. It is not disturbed by like barriers in our body, like the skin or the blood-brain barrier. As you know, you can sweat. Water can move through you in multiple ways, but it's moving through us in a lot more ways than just those. All right, right hand to left armpit pec. Gotta put my t-shirt on. It feels gross to dig my fingers into my armpit skin. So gentle, I'm sandwiching, I'm massaging that whole area. Armpit pec, right? This is like, if we were taught to do these flushes, I feel like we would have less breast cancer, less, things get blocked up in here. Also, if we've had surgeries on our heart, our chest, our boobs, any of that stuff, you could be kind of restricting flow. So we want to think of just opening that back up. Same thing on the other side. When we have surgery, when we cut something open, when the body is knitting itself back together, there's often a lot of scar tissue. And the scar tissue can be like really restrictive and inhibitive, but if we work with it a little bit, we can soften so that flow can move through. It's not like we're going to make it like it was before, but we can keep flow going, which doesn't mean we jam into it. It means that we very gently encourage flow around it. So we're getting the lymphatic flow in there. And if we have something like breast implants, our body protects against those. They recognize a foreign substance and it creates a whole layer of scar tissue around it to isolate it, right? So that is now in its own casing. Just putting that out there. And I've seen in a Gil Headley thing, an image of a woman who'd had them, like a cadaver, and it was like there was these two. This is the container for those breast implants, which was all scar tissue. So it's not going to help us breathe, right? Going to inhibit movement. So we may have to act a little bit more. If you've had something like that, you may want to be working more with your breath. All right, let's just do a little hands on bottom of the ribs. We're going to get to Cisterna next, but we're going to do a little deep diaphragmatic breathing here. So I'm taking my hands, bottom of my ribs. This is where my diaphragm is. It's on an angle. I'm going to do some big breaths into there. And I'm letting the whole thing expand. So people like belly breathing, chest breathing, I'm thinking of the whole thing blowing up and contracting in a very three-dimensional way. Pumping my breath. Good. Then under that, we've got our belly button, Cisterna. And just to show you what that breath breathing looks like, right? Sorry, going back and forth in what we're doing. Cisterna in here. It should really have gotten pumped from that pumping breath. But just in case it didn't, I'm going to do a gentle little in and up pump. And I'm going to soften my abs as much as I can by folding forward so that they're not holding it out, right? My abs could be not letting it move through. And then we're going to come into inguinal fold, getting that moving between your pubic bone and your hips. So I recommend that you spend a minute, look at the Google at a picture of your lymphatic system, and then you'll go, oh yeah, there's little clusters of lymph nodes in these areas. You can see what we're doing. Taking it behind your knees. So we're going to do like a really sort of energetic type flow today, less exercisey. Good. And then just shake it out for a second. Shake, shake, shake. Oh, Georgina is here. So I'm about to have a second person join my room. I got to just unlock the door. So from there, we're going to do connecting heaven and earth. So rubbing your hands together and taking one hand up and one hand down. So my palm is facing the heavens, my other palm is facing the earth, imagining that I am a column of energy, which I am a column of energy, a human living column, a river of energy. I'm a river of energy, energy moving through me, connecting to the heavens, energy moving through me, connecting down to the ground, through the soles of my feet, connecting through the palms of my hands, and through my central channel. Breathing into that, imagining that energy moving through your whole body. And you may have sort of zones that you don't feel very much. Just picture them, see them in your mind's eye, and that will increase, just the image of it will increase the flow. Bring your fingertips together, very light touch. Just hang out there, really light touch, imagining energy between your hands, like you have a ball of energy there. And then switching other hand up, other hand down. Pressing into that column, river of energy. You are in this vertical up and down, this river of energy moving through. Breathing into it, feeling the earth below you, feeling the heavens above you. And you are right there in the middle. Good. Bring it back together, fingertips together. One more time, each side. Press it up and down. Feeling that actively push, not a super intense push, not like on a level of a 10, but a gentle, let's say 4 or 5 out of 10 push, pushing up and pushing down. And then fingertips together and the other side. Hello. And then come back in, fingertips together. Here you are. You're just going to look from side to side. Head going one way, head going the other way, turning, taking in the environment. Arms are up, fingertips are touching. See what's around you. Look into your space and like check out the colors in the space. Check out the shapes in the space. Check out the light in the space. Come on in. Got my second in here. Checking Georgina coming in. It's just Susan right now. I don't know who's out there in the interwebs. We're doing kind of an easy, gentle class. Check out the, like, if you can see out a window, look out the window. And then you're going to slowly let the hands come down and bring that head turning into a smaller and smaller amount of movement. So it's getting smaller and smaller until it's almost nothing. You can barely feel if you're moving. You can close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself coming into yourself. So there's a little retraction into yourself. Like if you were a turtle, you'd be going into your shell. But just imagine that as like a nourishing, resourcing place as opposed to a retreating place, but just coming in, resourcing in within yourself. Good. And then we're going to shift and do a little ripple of movement down to up. So through your body, from the floor to the ceiling, a little wave of movement going through your body, from your feet to your head. So we've connected heaven and earth. Let your body move through that energy field, letting it just release and open. Doesn't have to be big, but it could be big, really working with what feels good to you. Good. And then coming in, facing front, I'm just going to face front again. Lead with your head, head, head. Stevie Wonder, Axl Rose. Well, there may be some forward backward to this, or it may just be side side. So if a spiral starts to come in, embrace the spiral. If it doesn't, that's totally fine. Either way, head to your tail, letting this ripple through your spine. So if there's any tension in your back, any kind of like bulgy, disky stuff, imagine those discs renegotiating that inner space and creating more space. Cerebral spinal fluid moving through you, filtering through your spine or around your spinal cord, from your brain around your spinal cord, it comes back up. It is nourishing your body. Let's go with circles with our wrists and hands. Imagine you have little octopus tentacle arms and they are just feeling what's around them. So wrists, hands, spirally, circly, opening up, letting that go into your elbows, into your shoulders, and then change the direction of that, bringing it in. Waking up the fingers. As I'm doing this, I'm actually rocking from side to side. So I'm adding this little bit of extra flow in the weight shift. You do not need to weight shift if you don't want to, but feel free. And then just shake it all out. Shake and bounce. Shake, bounce, jiggle. It can be a bounce that is symmetrical or an asymmetrical one. What I recommend is that you do both. Do some symmetrical bouncing and then some asymmetrical bouncing. Add some front back space, waking up the space around you. So it's like you're enlivening your kinesphere. Oh, this is the other thing that they said in the Fascia Symposium, like your proprioception, your sense of knowing where your body is in space, how to touch your nose. That is the interrelationship of our fascia with our nervous system. It's not our muscles. One of the guys says our muscles are putting the load on the fascia, right? So the muscles put tension on our fascia so that we can move. Fascia is the organ of form. It's creating the form. It's woven into our whole body. It's a living part of our body. Okay, let's do some freeform X stuff. So you're going to grow out. Try checking your balance a little bit. So freeform, radiating out to the distal edges, hands and feet, shifting from side to side, but freeing up as much as you can these internal flows in your body. If you have challenges with balance, use the wall, right? Even if you don't, sometimes it's nice. You can go further if you have a partner as the wall or somebody you can grab onto. Changing back and forth, one side and then the other. Awakening this whole proprioceptive awareness. So we're doing like a lot of brain body fluid awakening. Seeing if you can find some kind of flows with the movement that feel good to you. Doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. There can be repetition, but imagine that it's a total exploration of the space. I think I'm just going to add music for this. It's going to be the Somatic. It's going to be the Jeff Gershon music. Oh, got to share my sound for that to work. Hold on, everybody. Hold on to your seat. So we're just going to have like a little more free flow, sort of dancey, exercisey class today. Oh, let's start with this. It's actually not Jeff Gersh. It's Michelle Aiello, Oklahoma, the Blue Stetson, #3. Letting yourself use the music to ride, like, oh, you can't hear it. Do you want? Okay. Georgina doesn't get the music unless I give her one of my earbuds. Yeah. Finding spaciousness, play with what's below you and what's above you. So you're awakening this sense of the vertical, the up and down in any way that feels good. Awakening the sense of the horizontal, the side to side, and the sagittal, the forward, backward. You can move through those whenever you feel like it. Like, oh, if you're having trouble in your life with action and decision making, then you might want to go with the forward, backward. Yes, I'm ready to do this thing. No, I got to back up. Or if you are not feeling like you're in community, go into the horizontal, sharing and caring, sharing information, gathering, scattering. So working with these spaces, this is about the vertical, very much about me, the I am. This is me, here I am in this vertical or vertical plane, giving yourself access to this movement all around your body. So we're awakening our neural connections in space, taking up space. And I'm going into really three-dimensional movement now, where I'm using all three dimensions together. Imagining that you're casting a spell with your movement to bring in, I don't know what you want to bring in your spell. In my spell, it's healthy, juicy, interesting, and fun deliciousness into my life, right? Level changing if you have capacity. If you can easily get down to the floor, try some getting down to the floor. Try some floor business. If that's not easy and you have like a couch, try getting into the couch or a chair, right? Use the room as a partner. Freeing up your flow in a very gentle way for right now. So we're hydrating all the joints just by moving. We're letting that interstitium, that electrical fluid, it's not electrical fluid, it's fluid that conducts electricity, that conducts current. It's in our whole body. We're just awakening and connecting it through the system of our fascia. It's funny to say a system because it's all integrated. It's not this is a thing and that's a thing and this is a thing. It's our experience of being. It's our presence in our own bodies. That's going to change to something totally different. I think if it's not, let me just see what the music's going to go to. Let me see. Let's just get a little bit more active. Oh, it's repeating. Just going to change it. This is Anthony. This flute piece. Starting to wake up your hands and feet. If you have a carpet or something on the floor that you can kind of move around on with your feet, so you're awakening up this relationship to the floor with your feet. Maybe it's the relationship to your friend if you have hands. Otherwise, we're going to end up doing a whole contact improv, and I'm imagining that you probably don't have a friend there to play with. So next time we'll have contact improv class. Bring a friend, move with your friend. Community dancing. So fingers. Imagine that from your center out to your edge is an energetic system, and it is feeding itself, right? It's getting information, returning the information, and going out to find out more. So center to edge with the hands, radiating out, coming back in. Yeah, flamenco dancing. Be the flamenco dancer. Feel the space around you. We actually have a genuine flamenco dancer in the room, and even I studied flamenco dancer with my first ballet teacher, Maria Mills, from Madrid. I think she danced with the National Ballet of Spain, probably like in the 60s, maybe the 70s, but I could be wrong. Anyway, and start to wake up your feet in the same way. Feet radiating away from center, coming back in. Stretch it out, bring it in. Flexing, pointing. Don't be just a flex and pointer. Try some turning in, turning out. So pronating and supinating, letting your feet really wake up in different ways so that the tissue, the fascia in your lower leg, has a lot of capacity to move, right? We're increasing our relationship to movement and our capacity to move. We don't really need this mat in here. Hands and feet radiating away from center, coming back in. You can play with your breath with that. On the inhale, opening, growing out to the edge. On the exhale, coming back in. Radiate out, bring it in. Stretch it out, bring it in. If you stay on one leg for a while with that, you're going to be working your balance as well. You may be working it even if you're not staying on one leg. Hands and feet, center to edge, core distal relationship. Where can they go? Front space, back space, side space. Do you want the hard floor, or if we get down, hard floor or carpet? Oh, we got our little Ron Perlman squeaky deaky. Gonna move the carpet and get down onto the floor. So taking it down, if you're ready to get down onto the floor, we're just gonna add rolling onto the floor. Yeah, Squeaky Deaky has come in. Oh, hello there. Oh, hello. Oop. Gonna change the music. If you want more workoutiness, get up and get down a lot. Being able to move through space, getting down to the floor and getting up is great. But if you want more release and massage, then you're gonna roll around on the floor. I'm gonna change. This is about to change. I've got a little noodler here. Oh, hello, you get the double attention, little brat. Now we're just gonna be stuck with white hair all over us. All right, we're gonna switch to ambient fields for this. So getting down on the floor, get down. Oop. Oh, hello. With your partner, if you have one, or the trio. Oh. Oh, little tufts of white hair. No matter how much I brush him, there's still a ton. So here's the invitation on the floor. Imagine that you are a schmear of cream cheese, and the floor is a bagel. Spreading yourself around on the bagel as evenly as possible. But letting yourself land. So letting the fluid in your body really calm down into relationship with the earth. Coming into the ground, massaging out your back. Again, we can play with these ideas of spiraling, whirlpools and eddies. It doesn't have to be linear in any way. Like if we want to free up flow isn't linear. It is moving in ripples, spirals, waves. Think about, and vibrations, right? So bringing yourself down to that sort of vibrational level. We just had to come in and see what was going on. Letting yourself come up and down if it feels good. You can also weight bear, taking it into explorations where you have a different relationship to gravity. So feel free to get as much or as much movement as you need this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are. Letting yourself move in novel ways right? When we move in new ways, we start to open up pathways, create new neural connections, plasticity of the brain. And we start to open up our capacity to be different, right? To accept what's actually going on, tuning into the flow. And so for me, like when the hard floor is really lovely for actually letting the tissue massage out. If it's painful for you, make sure you have whatever amount of padding you need, right? But being able to get down and get up is a great way of living longer, right? There are studies, certain things, if you can get down to the floor and get back up easily, you're gonna be healthier in your body. So trying different ways of coming up and down, different ways of locomoting. Let yourself let go of being a human and be a creature, or just like even a single-celled organism. How does a single-celled organism, what's moving around within that? We think that even a single-celled organism is just one thing, but really it's a whole fluid body, right? So we are these fluid bodies of water, inviting in diversity to your experience. We've got, the floor is now covered in cat hair, just from Squeaky coming in and getting pet a couple of times. There's also little remnants of peacock feathers because we've got some peacock feather toys that have been getting munched on. Listening to your own body, honoring your own system. If you need to take more time somewhere, do it. Learning your own body, right? You are the expert of your own body. And it's a lifelong process to get to know yourself. Just opening up to maybe experiencing your body not as an object, a thing to fix or look at from the outside, but an experience to be in. It's a flow. This life, being in your body, is a continuous flow for as long as you're alive. So if you can step into that kind of experience of being, then everything becomes curious. Everything becomes interesting. Oh, here's another experience. Being in a body of water, tuning into the fluidity of your experience, right? We might feel stuck, but that's just like a temporary moment in our mind. It's a concept in our mind. Inviting really fluid flow, and there's many types of fluid flow, right? Airflow, current, electrical current. So we have the air, the element air. We're breathing, we can feel the air around us. There's the electrical currents of our body, and there are multiple sort of grids of energy patterns within our body, different parts experiencing, or not experiencing, expressing that energetic capacity in different ways. And it's all this interwoven experience of being right here, right now. There's, there's the water flow, the shifting of different types of fluids within our body. So sometimes this interstitium can be kind of gel-like, and sometimes it's really like water-like. Even blood has different sort of viscosity. So being outside on the ground, feet to soil, feet to sand, feet to grass, is a good way to change the viscosity of your blood in a healthy way, right? So being barefoot on the earth, not all the time, but sometimes. I'm not saying go walk around New York City without your shoes. I'm saying go stand in the grass or on the beach without your shoes. Breathing, flowing, allowing reality in. allowing your physical experience, your body-mind experience in. So I'm going to end it in a couple of minutes. So give yourself whatever it is you need right now. Maybe it's more breath. Maybe you need some self-touch. Maybe it's some stillness. Maybe it's some movement, right? We could just land in ourselves or a self-hug. Take up space. Give yourself an air bath. Waking up the skin. Squeaky is directly below the camera, doing his work, doing his business with his paws. It's really funny. On the carpet, which has just gotten folded up there. Yeah. If you need to open up a new flow in any part of your body, just imagine it. Imagine, oh yeah, maybe you're disconnected from he's making a nest. Maybe you're feeling disconnected from your sexuality or your gut body. So hands on the gut body, connecting that flow, or your sort of sense of self, safety, belonging. Bring your hands in. Heart, community, self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance. Maybe it's your voice speaking your truth, forgiving yourself for whatever you did say, forgiving for yourself for whatever you didn't say, right here in the throat. Let's just let out a little bit of sound. Oh, wow. Opening the channel so that we can speak with skill. Meow. There's a kitty down there. Yeah, cleaning, right? Of course, below the camera. And as your hands are on your neck, if your hands are on your neck, just look around again. Let your eyes come in. Finding a flow in your movement, in your body, in your breath. And then finally, up to our heads, we can come to this place here, like pituitary gland. And what's the other one? It begins with a P also. Pineal. Pituitary and pineal, they're right there in the middle of your head. One is slightly in front and higher, and one is a little bit further back. I think the further back one might be higher. Anyway, pituitary and pineal, like our knowing of all of this. Coming into our knowing, our intuition, our like sensing and our vision, our visionariness. And then just let's go to the top of our head, little gentle piano, bring it down your body, like you're raining on your body. So yeah, play the gentle piano or slide it down, however it feels good. I'm just gonna share this with you for 1 second and show you what probably would make him very happy. Some body skills, we'll see. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's see if he's going to come out. Yes, he's going to come out. Play. Enjoy. Yeah. Play with your pets. Play with your kids. Play with your friends. Play with yourself. Yeah. All right. It has devolved into just a cat game. So I am going to end the live stream, and thank you for joining, and like, subscribe, do all the things. Still trying to, there's Georgina. Meow, meow. There's Squeaky Deeks.